The quiet we experience is a calculated stalemate. Beneath the surface, global stability is ensured by the constant threat of advanced military force. 5 nations currently hold the vast majority of this leverage: the United States, Russia, China, India, and South Korea. The way these countries project strength has evolved. We no longer measure dominance by simple head counts of infantry lines. The metric relies heavily on applied military science, hypersonics, artificial intelligence, and autonomous systems, which raises a critical question. What does true superiority look like today? When you look closely at these 5 arsenals, they are not copying each other. They are developing highly specialized, entirely distinct machines of war. Look at South Korea. Their capital sits fewer than 30 miles from a heavily armed hostile border. That extreme geographical pressure has forged a military apparatus built entirely around immediate, overwhelming localized defense. They rely heavily on dense, highly advanced land forces. Their domestically produced heavy armor delivers concentrated firepower meant to instantly halt an incursion the moment it crosses the threshold. Because they occupy a peninsula, that land defense operates in tandem with a formidable maritime shield. Advanced naval destroyers constantly patrol their coastlines, locking down their vulnerable sea flanks. South Korea has engineered a localized fortress. For them, technological superiority is an absolute requirement for daily survival. Conversely, India is playing a very different geographic game. Historically reliant on imported weaponry, their current strategic objective is total self-reliance. They are rapidly scaling up their domestic defense manufacturing. Programs like their indigenous combat aircraft prove their industrial base can design, build, and deploy modern airframes without outside permission. They are also taking that newfound domestic capability out into the ocean. By constructing and operating massive aircraft carriers, they actively extend their reach across the entire Indian Ocean region. By replacing foreign contracts with domestic production lines, India is securing its status as the military heavyweight of its hemisphere. China, however, is attempting to skip entire generations of military doctrine. They are moving aggressively to bypass traditional development cycles. Their immediate focus is locking down the Pacific domain. They have drastically accelerated the expansion of their naval fleet, deploying new carriers to ensure they can contest waters far beyond their immediate shores. Behind that naval push is a massive investment in future combat technologies. They are actively testing hypersonic glide vehicles, deploying 5th-generation stealth fighters, and integrating artificial intelligence into their battlefield targeting systems. Instead of matching older global powers, they are actively rewriting the technical parameters of how the next major conflict will be fought. Russia faces a completely different logistical reality. Defending the largest single landmass on the planet requires a doctrine rooted in sheer scale and traditional brute force. Geographically spread across 11 time zones, their military identity relies on vast, heavily armored ground columns. These mechanized units are built to endure and operate in some of the most unforgiving terrain on Earth. But their ultimate leverage lies in their strategic deterrent. They maintain a sprawling, highly redundant network of advanced long-range missile systems, capable of launching devastating strikes from deep within their own territory. Because their borders are so long and difficult to defend, Russia guarantees its sovereignty through the constant, looming promise of catastrophic retaliation. Which brings us to the United States. The defining characteristic of the American military is its sheer capacity to globally project force. It can physically deploy its arsenal anywhere on the planet. This is power projection in practice. A single American supercarrier operates as a sovereign, floating city. It allows the U.S. to park devastating firepower off multiple coastlines simultaneously, without needing permission from local governments. From those decks, and from remote land operations, they launch highly coordinated formations of stealth fighters. These squadrons are engineered to penetrate radar networks and command the airspace in any theater of war. Yet these machines require constant maintenance, fuel, and supplies. As this map shows, American reach stems from an interconnected web of hundreds of military bases across every continent. Engineered to fight away from home, maintaining this global logistical web allows them to isolate and neutralize threats thousands of miles before reaching American soil. When you evaluate these 5 arsenals together, you see that military supremacy is a spectrum, ranging from South Korea's hyper-dense border wall to America's global reach. These states are no longer building weapons to fight the conflicts of the present. They are locked in an accelerating arms race to design the parameters of future conflicts, integrating code and algorithms as heavily as steel. The capabilities of these machines set the actual limits of what politicians can negotiate at a table. Diplomacy only stretches as far as military logistics allow. Through the sheer scale of their engineering and the precision of their strategies, these 5 powers serve as the ultimate deterrence against global conflict and the active architects of the world's borders.